Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you the player ratings after Manchester United beat Tottenham 3-2 at Old Trafford. So I'm going to start with David De Gea. I'm going to give David De Gea a 6 out of 10. Didn't have much to do in the game. He did get a hand to Harry Kane's penalty, but couldn't keep the penalty out. Prior to the game, it said David De Gea could have missed the game against Tottenham after testing positive for COVID. You know, De Gea is enjoying a very good season. He's now back to his best. You know, this season has been his 11th season at Man United, so reflecting on that, he's been a long servant. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. His contract at Man United expires next year. Earlier on this season, De Gea said, "I don't see myself away from Man United," and he did get named the Premier League's Player of the Month for January. Well, he's won everything domestically at the football club. Moving on to Diego Dalot. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Made an excellent goal line clearance in the first half, but Dalot didn't really get forward enough. It was the first game that Dalot had started in a while. You know, Dalot is our first choice right back under Rangnick. Will Dalot leave Manchester United in the summer, because he has been subjected to transfer speculation before? Last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. Man United got Dalot from Porto quite a few years ago. Man United paid £19 million for him. Dalot's contract at Man United expires next year. Moving on to Raphael Varane, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. He put a good performance out. Defensively, good. Brought the ball out well from the back, and he read the game well. Varane obviously missed the game against Manchester City last weekend, so it was good to see him back in the team against Tottenham. Most of the time when Varane plays, he seems to make the difference. Well, he is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced. Manchester United signed Varane from Real Madrid last summer. We paid 34 million up front, rises up to 41 or 42 million with add-ons. He's under contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year. He's had a few injuries since he came to the club. Moving on to Harry Maguire, he's going to get a 4 out of 10. You know, he was very poor again. Harry Maguire scored an own goal. Maguire was very poor in the game against Manchester City last weekend, because in that game he received a yellow card for a reckless challenge on De Bruyne, and City's third goal got deflected off Maguire. You know, I think Man United will look to sell him in the summer. I can't understand how Maguire is still captain. We'll revert back to earlier on this season. Rangnick said that Harry Maguire will remain Man United's captain until the end of the season. Earlier on this season, a lot of Man United fans demanded for the captaincy to be taken off Maguire. Prior to the City game, it said Maguire was upsetting his teammates in the dressing room, and Man United players questioned Harry Maguire's place in the team. Man United overpaid for Maguire, got him for 80 million. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and he's the second most expensive signing at the club. And he's been at Man United over 2 years now. He's had a few injuries since he came to the club. Moving on to Alex Telles. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Telles did get an assist in the game, but Telles gave the penalty away. He didn't really get forward enough. He wasn't really energetic. Telles is our first choice left back under Rangnick, and to be fair, he's been impressive under Rangnick. Man United got Telles from Porto back in 2020. We got him in a deal worth 15.4 million with add-ons included. The reason Man United brought Telles in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, of course, wasn't available for the game yesterday because he's got COVID. Moving on to Fred. Fred's going to get an 8 out of 10. He enjoyed a very good game. Fred kept the ball well. His passing was very good. He got into good positions. He pressed well. Fred also got an assist in the game. Despite Fred's good performance, he's still not good enough to represent the club. Fred has had his good games at Man United, especially under Rangnick. Man United got Fred a few years ago from Shakhtar Donetsk, got him for £50 million. And by the way, I think Fred got a yellow card in the game against Tottenham yesterday. Matic, he's going to get a 6 out of 10. Fred seems to play better alongside Matic than he does McTominay. To be honest with you, Matic looks very effective in that holding midfield role. I think Matic is as good as McTominay. Matic played yesterday because McTominay wasn't available due to a calf injury. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but Matic is the only predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got. I'm expecting Matic to leave in the summer because he's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Earlier on this season had a shin injury. Manchester United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017. Got him for £40 million. Paul Pogba, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Pogba did have some good moments in the game. His passing at times were good. Pogba played in the number 10. Obviously Bruno Fernandes wasn't available. Bruno Fernandes has fever. Pogba, he hasn't been great in his last 3 or 4 games, But Pogba has done well in his other games prior to the 4 games he hasn't been that good in since he recovered from injury. By the way, Pogba did receive a yellow card against Tottenham yesterday. There's a good chance that Pogba will be leaving Manchester United in the summer. Well, he's out of contract at Man United in the summer. It said earlier on this season that Pogba was demanding £500,000 a week if he's to sign a new contract. Not so long ago it said Paul Pogba is interested in a return to Juventus. Well, he did enjoy 4 exceptional years with Juventus before he re-signed for Man United. Earlier on this season it said Pogba was open to Premier League offers if he leaves Man United this summer. But there again, Pogba has a good relationship with Ralph Rangnick. If he was to be Man United manager next season, I reckon Pogba would stay. This season has been Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. He's played over 200 games since he re-signed, and Manchester United paid £89 million for Paul Pogba, so reflecting on that, he's our most expensive signing at the moment. We had him when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Moving on to Marcus Rashford, I'll give him a 5 out of 10. I thought he was quite poor again. He does look slightly better. Rashford could possibly leave Man United this summer. Prior to the game against Tottenham, it said Marcus Rashford has been told that he can leave Man United this summer by Ralph Rangnick. Well, not so long ago, he said Marcus Rashford is considering his future at Man United and he is concerned about his lack of playing time. Real Madrid are interested in Rashford, PSG are in for him, and Atletico Madrid have reignited their interest. Rashford has had a lot of poor games since he recovered from that shoulder problem. Rashford missed the first 2 months of the season with that shoulder problem. Earlier on this season, Rashford had a minor leg injury. Rashford has been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy. Rashford has been a United player since the age of 7, and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016, and since then he's gone on to make nearly 300 appearances in all competitions. Rashford's contract at Man United expires next year. Moving on to Jadon Sancho. I'm going to give Jadon Sancho a 6 out of 10. Jadon Sancho got an assist in the game. We are now getting the best out of Jadon Sancho, which is good news from a Man United perspective. Because Sancho didn't enjoy a good start to his Manchester United career. He was very poor at the first. And revert back to when we had Solskjaer, we couldn't get the best out of Sancho. Because Solskjaer persistently played him out of position, and there was quite a few games Sancho didn't even play under Solskjaer. Sancho scored a very good goal in the 4-1 defeat to Man City last weekend. It was a precise low strike. Man United signed Sancho last summer from Dortmund. We got him in a deal worth 78 million. Man United paid 73 million up front. Sancho's under contract to Man United until June 2026 as an option of a further year. Moving on to Cristiano Ronaldo. I'll give him a 10 out of 10. Ronaldo scored a hat-trick. Ronaldo became the highest scorer in football history. Ronaldo now has 18 goals in all competitions since he re-signed for Manchester United. He has over 800 goals in his career. Obviously, Ronaldo should have had more than a hat-trick against Tottenham yesterday because he had other chances where he didn't score. Ronaldo missed the game against Manchester City last weekend due to a knock. Prior to the Tottenham game recently, it said Ronaldo held crunch talks with his agent George Mendes over his Man United future. And it said he's threatened to quit following his Derby Day absence. Well, there's a good chance Ronaldo will leave Man United in the summer, especially if Man United fail to finish in the top 4. We've already said we'll allow Ronaldo to leave. Man United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million with add-ons included. He wears a number 7 shirt and his contract at Man United expires next year. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. He's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Man United brought substitutions on in the game yesterday against Tottenham. We saw Anthony Elanga come on, give him a 6 out of 10. Edison Cavani came on, give him a 5 out of 10. And Victor Lindelof came on, and I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Lindelof came on and got an assist. So that is your player ratings for Manchester United's 3-2 win against Tottenham. Good win for Manchester United. It was good to see Man United bounce back from the 4-1 defeat to Manchester City last weekend. Man United could still finish in the top 4 this season. Rangnick's aim for this season is for Man United to finish in the top 4. Tottenham, they had some players missing today. I think they had like 3 players missing. Obviously, there was no Ryan Sessegnon because he's out with injury. There was no Oliver Skipp, he's injured. And there was no Tanganga, he's injured. Tottenham have been pretty good under Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte is a good manager. He's got a good pedigree behind him. Antonio Conte got appointed in as the Tottenham manager in November last year. When he got appointed in as the Tottenham manager, he signed an 18-month contract. So that's only short term. Conte's been the Tottenham manager for 5 months. Manchester United should have got Antonio Conte. If we'd have sat Solskjaer after the 5-0 humiliation to Liverpool last year at Old Trafford, then I reckon we would have got Conte. Before Conte, Tottenham had Nuno Espirito Santo. Tottenham sacked him earlier on this season. Nuno Espirito Santo only enjoyed a short managerial tenure with Tottenham. Before Nuno Espirito Santo, Tottenham had Jose Mourinho. Tottenham sacked him. And before then, Tottenham had Mauricio Pochettino. And Tottenham sacked him after 5.5 years in charge. Let me put into the equation that Tottenham have lost players. With back to January, they lost Dele Alli. Dele Alli went to Everton from Tottenham. Quite a few years ago now, lost Christian Eriksen. When Christian Eriksen left Tottenham, he went to Inter Milan. And now obviously Christian Eriksen is at Brentford. Tottenham have lost players like Danny Rose. He's now at Watford, they lost Eric Lamela, Toby Alderweireld and Serge Aurier and all of that. The players Man United had missing yesterday, like I said, Fernandes didn't play because he's had a fever. Luke Shaw wasn't available due to COVID. And McTominay was out with a calf injury. You know, Tottenham won at Old Trafford last season, 6-1. Man United have done the double over Tottenham this season. You know, we beat them 3-2 yesterday at Old Trafford, and we beat them 3-0 earlier on this season at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Man United won away at Tottenham last season 3-1. We came from behind in that game. Manchester United's next game is Atletico Madrid in the Champions League last 16, second leg. That's a game we have to win. The Champions League is the only chance Man United have got of winning a trophy this season. Man United have not won a trophy for 5 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. As you all know, Man United are looking for a permanent manager. You know the news regarding Mauricio Pochettino. Pochettino is seeking to become Manchester United's next manager. Said not so long ago that Pochettino is on the verge of being sacked by PSG after PSG got knocked out of the Champions League by Real Madrid. Eric Ten Hag, you know, there's still a lot of rumours coming out about him becoming Man United's next permanent manager. Like I said, Man United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. 4 permanent managers have been sacked since Ferguson. Rangnick, as you all know, is interested in the permanent Man United job. I don't think he'll get the job on a permanent basis. You know, Rangnick has lost 3 games in all competitions as Man United's interim manager. He's lost 2 games in the league. You know, Rangnick's been Manchester United's interim manager for 3 months. He is Man United's interim manager until the end of the season, then he's expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Unfortunately, Rangnick did not get backed in January. And he actually got promised as well he was going to be backed. Rangnick's enjoyed 1 transfer window so far as Man United's interim manager. Before Man United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. So anyway guys, I'll be back with more videos tomorrow. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.